Hi. Over the last few months, I've been making a lot of videos about the tools and the instruments and the software that I use to do music sessions in schools and in one-to-ones. I thought it might be useful to talk about a key piece of software that I've been using to make those videos called OBS, or Open Broadcaster Software. This is a free piece of software that lets you make a composite of different audio and video sources. It's aimed mainly at streamers to stream on Facebook or to YouTube, but you can also make video recordings with it. Now, it's worth talking about a few prerequisites to use this software as I see it. You are going to need an external monitor, and we'll talk about why in a little bit. You are going to need a pair of headphones, and you're obviously going to need a laptop, Windows or Mac, and that laptop needs, at the very minimum, it needs a built-in microphone and a built-in webcam, or external ones if you haven't got those. Let's have a little look at, and there'll be links to all that software in the description of the video. Let's have a little look at OBS itself. OBS is arranged into scenes, and in those scenes are sources. And what we're going to do just now is build a simple setup to record the audio and video output of a DAW, and we're going to use Logic. So as you can see at the moment, you've just got a large output from my webcam, and you can see me talking here. We're going to add something to this scene called tutorial. We're going to add, with this plus icon down here, we're going to add a source, and that source is going to be a display capture, and this is where we capture a whole display output. We're going to call this MacBook. Now, at the moment, the display this is capturing is the inbuilt MacBook screen. I'm going to show you what happens if I try and capture the external monitor. Now, this is why we need an external monitor, because if we only had the one display, we'd be looking at this crazy video feedback every time we tried to navigate around OBS. So here we have our MacBook laptop display. It's slightly too big for the area we want to capture, but luckily we can use right click and use an option called transform and fit to screen, which squishes it down into the area that we're recording. Behind that, you can see the webcam. We want to make that a good deal smaller and bring it in front of the desktop capture. So I'm actually going to delete that with a little minus and add it in to show you the process of that. So we go to plus again, and this time go to video capture device. We're going to call that webcam, and we're going to pick our webcam. This is going to be called whatever your device is called on your machine, and we actually want to make this quite small. It's worth noting that the smaller you make this, the less taxing it is on your computer, so that's worth bearing in mind if you're having any performance issues with recording. And we're going to drag this down into the bottom right corner, but you can put it wherever you like. So we have our two video sources set up. We've got our MacBook screen, and we've got our webcam. We need to add our audio in now, so we're going to click plus again, go to audio input capture this time, and this is where we're going to add in Soundflower. Now this is a free piece of software that allows us to virtually capture the output of any program like Logic. So we're going to add that in there. And lastly, you're hearing me now through a mic that I've got plugged into another laptop, but we need to add in our built-in mic output. So we're going to call this built-in mic, and we're going to add the built-in microphone. Okay, and there we can see we've got all our inputs ready to go. There's a few settings we need to go through. I think this is the bare minimum you need to check. We want to click one of the cogs next to audio and go to advanced properties, and we want to unselect all the tracks but one. And that's all we need to do in here. After that, we're going to go into settings, and we're going to go through a few of the settings we need to get our recording correct. We don't need to general or stream, but in output, we want to make sure output mode is in simple. You may want to change your recording path. That's where your videos will save. And I've found the best results with indistinguishable quality. There's fairly large file sizes involved, but if your videos are under 10 minutes, it's nothing too unmanageable. Lossless would be higher quality, but if it's ending up on YouTube anyway, I don't think there's any need to use that. And that's all we need to select in here. We go into audio. We just want to make sure our sample rate is set to the same as our DAW software, and our monitoring device is set to built-in output. And this is where the headphones come in handy to stop feedback. And in video, this is where you might want to play with these settings if you're having any issues with it stuttering or not recording cleanly. You can reduce this down to 720p if you need to, and you can also reduce the frame rate, all of which will save your CPU a little bit of work. The very last setting in advanced is in this recording section is automatically remux to MP4. It records to MKV by default, which is good because if something gets interrupted while you're recording, it still saves. But MKV isn't very accepted by a lot of by YouTube or things like that, so it'll automatically remix your file to MP4. So we are ready to record a little video. I'm going to switch over to Logic, where we've got an electric piano loaded, and if I play my keyboard, you can hopefully hear there electric piano sound. So what we're going to do, it's worth talking about our settings in Logic. I have got the output device set to Soundflower, and that will send it through to OBS. So the only thing we need to do to record is to come down here and click Start Recording. And we are now recording. We can play a little something on the piano again. We can talk about what we've played. We can say what we need to say. And then when we've finished recording, we come down and click Stop Recording. And you can see there the little window flashed up saying it was remixing it to MP3. And if I have a look here, the last video that was played is here. And I'm going to open that up. And let's just move my face out of the way of my face. And let's have a look. And we are now recording. We can play a little something on the piano again. We can talk about what we've played. We can say what we need to say. And then when we've finished recording, we come down and click. Okay, that's I think the simplest way of using OBS to capture what you're doing on a computer. In the next video, we'll look at a slightly more complex setup using an external camera as well. Thanks.